Hey guys, Kev here, and I wanted to do an overview on the Kaiser Brat. So I thought this knife deserved its own video. Sometimes I like to do rapid reviews, especially when I get sent knives in batches, like Kaiser sends me stuff usually. They sent me the Brat here, they sent me the drop bear in my Carta, and they sent me the sheepdog with the clutch lock, which this knife will also get its own video because it is fantastic, just like the Brat. The drop bear, I'm not going to do a separate video just because I have done a bunch of drop bear stuff. Sounds weird. In the past, but they did drop this in my Carta with stonewash or blackwash, and I gotta say, the big takeaway is the weight. I would love to see even the fat carbon versions with the milling in here, because I think that's what they did, was mill it out more, because it just feels like a different knife to me. I really love the drop bear. It's a fantastic piece, and it's something I have set aside now to use as my sort of outdoor work knife. It's 154 cm and it's black coated. I've been using my Divo Pony Stout the most for that kind of stuff, and I thought it'd be good to have another knife for that. I usually use a coated knife because I don't want to rust, and I sweat like a mother. So anyway, the drop bear is awesome. Oh, almost threw it across the room there. But we're here for the Brat, and I gotta say, this one's innovative and cool, and Kaiser really knocked it out of the park. This is an Azo design. So you guys know Azo, he's their chief in-house designer, the bag lighter, the drop bear. I mean, if you can name, I think the Towser K, if you can name a cool Kaiser knife, it's probably from Azo. So great designer, and I got to meet him at Blade Show this year, which was very, very cool. The cool thing about this knife, why is this so cool, Kev? It just looks like a freaking G10 button lock, right? 154 cm button lock. Well, there's two things I really like about it. Well, three that stand out to me. One is the overall just aesthetic is very cool to me. I don't know why. It does look like other knives that have existed, but I just like this sort of squared off shape of this handle. And then the blade shape is just, man, it's just such a good cutter. It feels so natural to use and cut with. And so that really stands out to me. The biggest thing is that it's a integral. So this, I believe, is $89. I will link everything I can down below for you. At the time of filming this, it is available at Blade HQ, which is what I will link because I do have an affiliate link there. It does help the channel. And, you know, they carry Kaisers, so that's cool. But I think it's like 89 bucks. Don't quote me, but I'm going to be close on that. And that's incredible for an integral knife. If you don't know what an integral is, some people call them integrals. Some people call them integrals. Semantics. But what it means is that the handle is carved from one single piece of material. Usually you see it with titanium because it's just like, if you're going to spend that much money machining something, let's just go for it and use titanium, right? But we've seen a couple of integrals in the past couple years in G10. The other one I can remember right now is a Reich knife. I can't remember the name of it, but it was from Reich, and they did a G10 integral, which was also very cool. But yeah, so if you look at it, there's no seam, because this is not clamshelled together. It's not stacked like other knives where you have a scale, and then something in the middle called a standoff or backspacer that kind of ties everything together. It's much easier to machine because you can make these three parts separately and then stack them and you screw them together, right? If you make a mistake on this part or that part, you could try to fix it or remake that part. If your whole frame and knife exists or hinges on this piece and you make a mistake, you're throwing that whole chunk of G10 or titanium or whatever it is away, and you have to start all over and remake the entire handle, not just remake a part. So that's a big difference between a traditional stacked style knife versus a integral. You can also have clamshells. I don't know if I have anything that is a clamshell here right now. I'm looking around, sorry. But basically what a clamshell is two pieces. So they take two pieces and they kind of integrate this backspacer part into that, and you'll have like a seam here, or you'll have one half be bigger than the other. Technically that's mono block, but anyway, it's two pieces put together. Sharp by Design does it a lot, and that's, I think, a little bit less expensive than doing traditional style with a backspacer or standoffs, but it's also, I think, a little bit harder because everything has to line up perfectly along that area. But then, you know, the ultimate is an integral like this, and this is one chunk of G10, and it makes for a difficult process, because not only do you have to make it out of one piece of material, you have to fit all of your internals in there without having access to just a full side. You have to like reach in there to get your internals in. So people do it differently, but a lot of times they'll take, like you'll see here, there's a liner here. They have this steel liner on both sides, and that houses the button lock mechanism, which is the third thing that's very cool about this. It's an integral button lock, which is freaking impressive in my opinion. And then you add on that it's like $90. That's amazing to me. But anyway, they make it so they can kind of slide this whole piece in there. The liner, the button, everything kind of slides in. They can push the button in or whatever, and it all slides in with the blade, and then it pops into the part it's supposed to go into, or the hole it's supposed to go into. It's possible that the button is somehow screwed on and maybe it could come off, but you'll see like the clip has to be mounted. I don't even know how they did it. They must have some kind of driver. I mean, am I crazy? They must have some kind of driver that has a very small angle on it, can get in there and somehow tighten those things down. Like, how the hell did they tighten those screws? They look like T8s or whatever. But you can see they're different looking, so there's something. Oh, they're washers. Okay, I'm dumb. So if you take these off, those little brass things are going to fall off probably and be stuck. Unless they're glued in place somehow. But man, it's just, the engineering is very cool. And then you have these little screws here that's holding those liners in along with the pivot. And that is, you know, very stupid and oversimplified explanation of how this works. But I'm impressed. You can see the centering is dead nuts down the center. You can see these cool cutouts because they got to do certain things to make everything fit. The clip, I love this clip. It kind of reminds me of a little bit of a Benchmade clip, but it's got good retention, great in pocket. This knife, honestly, I've had it for 4 days now, maybe 5, has not left my pocket. I've had a lot of cool knives come in the same time period, and I don't know what it is. I just love the Brat. And I love the name, the Kaiser Brat. Like, it's just a good name. Another amazing thing about this knife is the detent. I mean, it is a button lock integral. So there's some kind of spring in there. There's a spring in there on the lock that keeps everything, you know, tight and kind of acts as your detent. And they made it to where it actually feels like a detent. They did a great job. I mean, I gotta say, other than maybe a ProTech Malibu, this is the best flipping action I've felt on a button lock. Now, you can fail it if you try hard enough. You can kind of pop the spring there and get it to go. But they have jimping here and jimping up here, so you can push button it like a pimp, light switch it like a pimp. It's a really fun knife. If you get your finger in the right position down here, you can flick the knife open. I'm not really sitting there doing that over and over, but you know, some people are weird like that and they have to be able to flick the knife, so you can do it. Some of you better than others, I'm sure. I have 0 play, 0 up and down. Having that nice strong spring in there allows for solid lockup. Having a button that has a slight bit of stick, you can hear the stick, that means the lockup's solid, you know? So a lot of people complain about button locks and spine whacking failure and all that kind of stuff. Well, yeah, you can't have it both ways, you know? They'll complain, well, it disengages. And then they're like, but I don't want any stick. It's like, well, you know, I don't know of a button lock that doesn't have stick and locks up perfectly. Like, if you handle a Protect Malibu, usually they won't fail on a spine whack, but they have button stick. I've had so many Malibus. If you watch the channel, you know. If you just search Protect Malibu, LeftyEDC or something, you'll get like 50 videos. So I've had a lot of them. They all have had button stick, and it has never worn in like people say it does. And that's fine, because that's what means you have good lockup. And you just have to accept it on a button lock that you're going to have some stick. Now, if it's, you know, like you got to break your thumb to disengage it, well, then you have a problem. But if it's like this, where you just, you know, you have a little click, that's perfectly fine for me. That means the knife is operating the way it should, honestly. As you can tell, it's fidgety as shit. I'm sitting here and I can't stop. And this is what I've been doing every day since I've had this knife. It's just super fun to push button, to light switch. And that spring is just nice and crispy. Just feels, it's, you know, it gives you a little bit of resistance that feels nice. And it's just an excellent freaking knife. Friday night gas station grip is phenomenal on this knife. I mean, I feel like Jim Bowie over here. I got a full grip on this puppy. Nice flat spot up here. Nice guard down here. I mean, I could go to work with this thing. But, you know, nobody's messing with me and my Kaiser Brat. Know what I mean? It's lightweight. Feels great. You know, it feels like, you know, it's a little bit on the thicker side handle-wise. But in pocket, in hand, it doesn't feel that way. So I should say it looks that way or something. But it doesn't feel that way. This is really nice. The grip back here, we have a beautiful stone-washed 154 CM blade. I mean, they did a great job on this. I love this blade shape. It's sharp as shit. I can attest to that because I've cut a bunch of stuff with this, food and icy pops and all types of stuff. Just goes right through everything. And I've cut myself because I was playing with the button. I was trying to push and turn the button to, like, see if I could get it to hit a spot where it's not as much stick. Like right now, it's perfect. Barely any stick. But sometimes it'll get to a point where it's a little clicky, which is, again, it's fine, but I'll try to shift it. And I did this. I pushed in, and the thing came out, and I, like, jabbed myself in the finger or something. Oh, there it is. See the cut right there. So she's mine now, for sure. Although I will be passing this around. So this will be going around my pass-around group. This is a knife that needs to be exposed, if you know what I mean. Channels need to see this and review it, and not everybody, you know, gets the knives from manufacturers. Not everybody can afford to buy every knife. So I really want the people who want to check this out to check it out. So it's going in the pass around, and hopefully some other channels will want to check it out. I absolutely love it. It's a home run. Let me know what you guys think down below, and there's a link in the description if you want to check it out at Blade HQ. Again, it does help the channel. So Kaiser Brat, home run. Love you guys. Hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. And oh, sorry, think about this for a second. What if they launched this in fat carbon? I'm just saying, integral fat carbon button lock in like M390 or freaking LC200N. Come on. All right, love you guys. I'll catch you later. Peace.